Strap yourself in, you little ripper, and make sure you subscribe. Nature can be very unforgiving against weaker animals. These top 10 incredible wild boar battles and brutal attacks will show you just how vicious animals can be when it comes to their survival. Wild boars are very aggressive and territorial animals. As their name implies, their best habitat is the wild. For obvious reasons, of course. But have you ever wondered what happens when a wild boar strays from its usual habitat into the human path? Well, whatever you've imagined, the result will probably not be good. A good example is the Myoko snowboarders incident. Some time ago, a couple of snowboarders were having a swell time in a snow resort in Myoko, Japan, until a wild boar decided to crash the party. Captured on camera, the wild beast came running down from higher up the mountain, ramming into an unsuspecting snowboarder. After taking some shots at the first snowboarder and eventually knocking him to the ground, the porky perp takes off to attack victim number 2, who had no choice but to defend himself using his board against the animal's sharp tusks. Eventually, the boar, after having its fill of violence, had to run off, probably to find its next victim. One of the unique features that define a wild boar is its exceptional strength. However, no one seems to be talking about how physically impressive these guys can be when they want. In a battle between a big metallic gate and a wild boar, who do you think would win? Your guess would most likely lean towards the direction of the giant metallic gate, yeah? Obviously, you have yet to learn how mighty these wild swine are. According to the security camera footage that surfaced, a giant boar could be seen trying to cross a road. It most likely got spooked by traffic, which led to it sprinting towards a large and heavy metallic gate. The result is the gate getting ripped off its hinges, with its pieces scattering all over the driveway. Well, one important lesson learned: never be in the path of a running boar. Naturally, most wild animals are very territorial and protective of their own, especially in situations concerning their young. Wild boars, however, take this to the extreme, even to the point of fighting off an enormous crocodile to protect their young. In the surfacing clip, a bunch of wild boars fight Mr. Croc to ensure the safe passage of their younger ones. Mr. Croc most likely thought he was going to get a leisurely meal while stalking the little wild swine. Clearly, it didn't factor in that the parents would come charging. Or maybe it did, but not with that much ferocity and power. After giving the crocodile a thrashing it wouldn't be forgetting in a hurry, the thrashers had to stand guard, watching until their offspring had scurried to safety before ending their watch and returning to their regular business. You're gonna want to see number 1 on our list. It's a look at what happens when there's a shared bond between hunters and only one mission in mind. Now, remember to share this with your friends and subscribe to this so you don't miss out on any videos in the future. Exactly how resilient can wild boars be as a species? The question has been a popular source of debate for many. Visibly, the feral swine species is a very resilient one. How else could they have survived in the wild, making residences in almost every continent: Asia, Africa, Europe, North and South America? The toughness and resilience of the wild swine species are nearly superhero-like, especially when a clip began making rounds online showing a giant wild pig being hit by a fast-moving vehicle. Although the speeding car set the feral hog flying sky high, it was still able to scurry away in its usual graceful gait. While the footage didn't show if any damage was done to the vehicle, it's highly doubted that the car would be unscathed after such a collision. Wild hogs love and live in the wild. It's their natural habitat. Maybe it's evolution, the destruction of its natural habitat, or curiosity that led this wild boar to leave its usual habitat and stroll into the bushes of Hong Kong Park. Or maybe it had its fill of the wildlife and decided to opt for a domestic one. One of the wild hog was quick to announce its presence after getting to the big city of China. Obviously, it couldn't trade its wild habits for domestic ones fast enough, because it ended up sparking up a police chase in the city park. It had to be a pretty severe chase, because videos of the incident showed that the police were using riot shields and nets to corral and capture the animal. Despite all this gear, the stubborn animal still injured a police officer and a passerby before final capture. Well, when you think you've seen and heard it all, always remember, you just haven't. Who would have thought that a wild hog would need gas? Or why else would it be visiting a gas station, right? Footage of the incident show a wild boar dashing into a gas station in Sultanpur, Uttar Pradesh, India. The hog must have been an agitated customer because it came with violence in mind, causing mayhem at every corner it turned. While the gas station staff and some onlookers tried to appease the angry customer, many of them ended up being sent sprawling by the beast. Eventually, the hog had had enough. It trotted out of the gas station to cause a stir somewhere else. However, it wasn't before it had injured a staff member and a customer as well. You already know that wild hogs, although considerably large in most cases, can run at incredible speeds. However, did you know that they're also competent swimmers and can swim for long distances as well? You can bet that many of the sunbathers on Schönagen Beach in Schleswig-Holstein on the fateful day of a wild hog emerging from the Baltic Sea didn't know that wild hogs could swim prior to that incident. Seabad Warnemund, a seaside resort guest, took to Facebook to share his dismay. In this post he wrote, "Something's going on at the Baltic Sea beach. Apparently the animal has been swimming for miles." Klaus Sluter, a sailor, reported that he saw the animal at sea and thought it was a porpoise. He realised it was a hog when it didn't dive like a porpoise would. Although he couldn't save it, he got it to change its course to the beach. When the animal got to land, it terrified sunbathers a bit, before disappearing into the nearby tall grass. Hold on to your hats, we're almost at number 1. Now, please subscribe, share and like this video if you think it's amazing. Now, up next, a wild hog was unexpectedly interested in a 9 to 5, but the results were much crazier. A recent viral clip showed a horrifying scene in an office setting when a wild hog decided to report in for work. In the clip, the feral hog could be seen marching majestically into the office space, finding its way to a room full of workers working dutifully on their computers. What would have been an otherwise peaceful working environment was quickly replaced with chaos after the pig joined the party. On why the hog decided to pay a courtesy visit to the office, no one could really tell. From the clip, you can deduce no one was willing to find out what the intention really was. We've initially talked about the battle between a wild hog and a metallic gate. This one is a bit different. In this CCTV footage, it shows a serene environment in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Then enter a charging, rampaging hog. The footage also showed how terrified the property owner was upon discovering the presence of the hog. He decided to keep the beast out by locking his gate, but the beast simply headbutted the white garden gate to gain entry. The wild boar left the gate hanging from its hinges before jumping through the barbed wire fence and attacking the horrified man. After being sent tumbling backwards, the man had no choice but to run away. Thankfully, he was just shaken but not seriously hurt. He lived to fight another day. Wild hogs can grow to become giant animals. Their size, sharp tusks, and the glory of killing them are some of the primary reasons they were extensively hunted, almost to extinction at some point. However, not just anyone can decide to go wild hog hunting. Even when armed to the tooth, one can still get very hurt hog hunting. Most seasoned hog hunters employ the aid of unique skills and hunting dogs for a successful hunt. While dogs are often used, not all types of dogs are used for the tasks of hunting hogs. Some breeds are better suited for the job than others, but even the best species still need special training to make them efficient at the role. This clip shows the unique and fantastic bond and teamwork between the hunting dogs and their owners. As expected, the wild boar put up an impressive fight, which made the whole hunt dangerous. Nonetheless, the dogs proved to be the professionals and displayed their mastery in taking the hog down, leaving the hunter to finish it off.
Cheers for watching and good on you, mate. Now, if you want to be a cool cobber, give this next video a burl.